Hi there, dance studio owners, and welcome to a very special midweek edition of the Transform My Dance Studio podcast. In today's exclusive training clip, Clint will be sharing with you his secret sauce to enrolling record numbers of students into your classes all year round with his no gaps enrollment process. While you enjoy this podcast, make sure to download our free 11-step enrollment checklist to plug into your own studio right away. Grab your free copy at dsoa.com/checklist-2020. That's dsoa.com/checklist-2020. Now, on to today's special episode.
So, who has a question? Who has a question? Bonnie, can you catch the catch box?
Oh, wow. Who knew? I might have to take this with me. Just kidding. Okay, so on the 11-step enrollment process,
Yes.
which I already introduced, which is awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
But you did put a few different ideas out there today.
Tell you.
My ahas. So if you are doing this personalized email, how do you
The
automate?
top part.
Yeah, how do you automate
You
that?
don't.
You can't. So
That was a very easy question. Thank you.
So, okay, then I'll ask you another one. So on the template, the script,
Yes.
I like to offer them full enrollment before downselling to a trial class enrollment. Can you say something about that?
Right. So you tell me that again.
So I will offer them, I won't mention the trial class if they don't
Okay.
mention it until I've said, okay, you can enroll for the semester.
On the phone, you're enrolling them for the
Yes,
semester.
so they'll say, I'm interested in
sure.
hip hop. I'm like, okay,
Great.
18 weeks, $297. Or do you want to upgrade to a membership?
Sure.
Then if they say, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I say, oh, do you want to just try a class?
Yes, that's perfect.
Okay, so that's,
love that.
That's a good script.
Yeah, 100%. Guys, if it's for a season and you can get them in from a phone call without them experiencing you, sell the season on the phone. A lot of people, though, have trouble selling a big commitment like that up front without a try before you buy. So I would definitely go down that route if that works for you. And then you can downsell them into a trial if they don't want to take that commitment.
Okay.
Totally great idea.
Okay.
Okay. Oh dear. I feel like I feel like the catch box is a really great idea until I actually have to throw it that far. I mean, we do have insurance, so it's okay. Yes.
Thank you.
We can then just throw it around between each other.
I'm from Long Island, where there's a studio it's nail salons, how common they are. And
Yeah.
I know that you said when you're calculating the appropriate price for what you should be charging per class, it takes about 3 years to actually climb that transition.
If you're super under where you should be, 100%. And I think it's tomorrow or Sunday, I'm going to walk through the different financial structures. So tiered model versus discounted model versus flat fee structure. So I'm going to walk you through those.
Is there anything, I mean, if it's in the module for tomorrow, maybe I'm asking it prematurely.
That's fine.
But
yeah.
how do you then, well, then I'll go literally across the street where I could throw a rock to where it's way cheaper. How do you battle that competition in price?
You haven't conveyed the value.
Okay.
To be honest with you, I don't care how much anyone else is. No one's me.
Okay.
And you have to, like if you're doing, come for jazz, it's fun, get creative. And then this studio's come for jazz, it's fun, it's creative. You have a branding issue. I always want to go back to brand. We are in the world now where everyone is price driven. And you probably agree, people are looking for a great bargain. But we still go back to the brands we know, like, and trust. So as a studio, you need to be building a brand. So when they see you, they're not only coming to you as another dance studio, they're coming to you. What's your studio name?
MB Dancers.
MB Dancers.
Mm-hmm.
They're coming because MB Dancers. Like, we got to go to MB Dancers. They've built a brand. Think of any brand that you love. Maybe it's Apple. Maybe it's Nike. Maybe it's Adidas here. We say Adidas. You guys say Adidas? I don't know. We say something completely wrong. I don't know what it is. And so we have these brands. Peloton is another brand that's like up and coming, right? SoulCycle, these fitness brands, they are brands. You guys need to be in the business of building a brand Because then that conversation price, oh yeah, $38 for a cycle class for 45 minutes? Sure. And you charge me $3 for shoes? Sure. And $2 for a bottle of water? Sure. I mean, hello, that's SoulCycle, right? We need to build a brand first, because if we don't build a brand, we are competing with everybody else, every other dance studio. Once you've done the branding piece, then it's about building the value. So when you're having the conversation, when you're going through the enrollment process, how are you building the value? How are you communicating to them? What you do changes the lives. And then we'll get to the money piece tomorrow. Is that helpful?
Yes.
Awesome.
Definitely. Thank you.
Who's got a question? Who wants to catch the catch box? We'll go maybe here and here. Have a couple of more minutes. Hi, good to see you.
Good to see you too again. I was wondering how transparent we should be with our numbers that you just presented with our team.
Oh, such a good question. Such a good question. As transparent as you want to be, I know that's not the helpful answer. Let me dive into it. I think it's important that your team does have transparency on the core numbers in your business. You might not want to share with them how profitable you are. If you're doing a profit sharing system in your studio, where let's say your 5% of your profit gets distributed between your team members, share the profit, because that's a really important number for them, right? So I would be sharing a couple of key numbers. I would be sharing every single week. It's a weekly report that goes out where you should talk about total students enrolled, total places filled, class capacity, how full you are, where you're at, amount of new students that enrolled in the studio the previous week. You can do like inquired, trialed, enrolled, those three numbers I gave you before, and your churn rate, your retention is really, really important. So they're kind of like 5 core numbers I would be sharing with them week on week that is moving to a goal that you have for them, right? So when you have goals in place, we're going to talk a lot about, I've got a great presentation, I hope it's great, about team and leadership this weekend, and we're going to talk about a lot of these things. But you need to set goals, KPIs, key performance indicators in place with each of your team members. You need to have collective goals for your team as well, so everyone's working towards the same goals as well, everyone's on the same page. And then you need to share the numbers that make those goals happen. Because there's nothing saying, okay guys, we've got a goal, we want to get to 500 students, and they don't get an update every week on how many students you've got, right? It's crazy. We need to be telling them, we need to be getting them excited, we need them bought into that goal, because people often say, look, Clint, my team's lazy, they don't do their job, blah, blah, blah. And when we get into the communication piece, I'm like, your team don't know what's going on. How can you get excited about not knowing what's going on, right? So the communication piece is key. I would say to you, share the numbers you feel comfortable with. Yeah, with us, we're pretty open and honest, but there's certain team members that get access to certain numbers depending on their role. Because if they don't have access to those numbers, they can't do their role. Does that help? Okay, 2 more questions. I'm going to go maybe on this side. Sorry, I feel so bad when I see all these hands.
I don't know.
Can we throw it over here?
Can I just...
Okay, we're going to do hey friend.
Hi, Danielle from
I know who you are. Yes. But everyone else. This is Danielle.
I'm Danielle from Bloomsburg School of Dance. I'm in a rural area in Pennsylvania. You talked about our profit should be a certain percentage of the gross profit. You kept using the word gross profit. Earlier, your gross profit is actually the gross minus the cost of teachers.
No, so the cost of teachers should go in your cost of goods sold.
Okay.
So you have your sale, let's say your recreational stream, that's your sales. Then your cost of goods sold should be your teachers.
Correct.
And then your admin staff, everyone else is in your expenses.
And then it's gross profit?
So you get your top gross profit line. So you get gross profit.
Which I call gross revenue.
Okay, that's fine. Gross revenue. Sales minus direct expenses gives you your gross profit. Then your net profit is underneath all of those other things.
Right. So the marketing budget is actually based on gross profit, not with the rent and the utilities and the other expenses.
Correct.
Okay. So
for that income stream.
Take out the COG.
Yeah.
And then work from that number for everything else you had on that one screen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good clarifying question.
Yes.
Oh, I said one more. I think, ready? We'll see how this goes. Not overly well, but not horrible. Okay, last question.
Well, it's not a question. It's a success. Is that okay?
Oh,
Based on the goal
please.
thing that you were just talking about over there.
Yeah.
So our studio, we're in Ohio, and we're excited. It's our first year, and our owner, Whitney, she gave us a goal. She invited us to come to this, and she gave us a goal. And if we met that goal for enrollment before we left, she would buy us tickets to a Broadway show. And we met that goal, and so we get to see Hamilton tonight. We're really excited.
Oh, Whitney. Whitney's one of our Inner Circle members. I love the team. Thank you so much for coming. Isn't that great? And she's like busting out of her seat. She is so excited because, Whitney, as the CEO of the studio, has enrolled her team into a goal and they're working towards it together. And you know what? There's nothing better than working on a goal together. It's very boring working on a goal on your own. 100 students, it's not overly fun. But when you do it with your team, and that's the result, isn't that amazing? Congratulations, Whitney and team. So excited.
We hope you enjoyed this week's enrollment special. Don't forget to download your free 11-step enrollment checklist at dsoa.com/checklist-2020 today.